All right, so we're going to go to page 87. And the reason we're looking at page 87 is because I want to talk to you about the lecture. Now, this lecture in chapter 3 is longer than the lectures in chapter 1 and 2. So it is broken up into different parts. There are many parts. I made it short so that you can understand a little bit at a time. I don't want to scare you. You're not scared, right? I just want to make it easier for you. All right? So we'll come back to 8 and 9 and all that later on. But we're looking at 10 right now. So look at the strategy box on this page. You'll see the strategy box is the blue one, right? This is where it tells you. The strategy is a learning strategy. So the strategy is listening for details. The lecture for this chapter begins with an introduction about geography. He states that a very useful way to think about geography is in terms of major themes. He tells us the number of major themes, so listen for what number he says. And when he tells out the number, this prepares us to listen for details of these major themes in the main body of the lecture. Now, you'll recall that some lecturers use questions to make listeners focus on the answers. Sometimes this lecture asks questions, just like the one in Chapter 2, Nutrition and Human Health. Do you remember that lecturer? Mm-hmm. She asked some questions. Mm-hmm. What comes after a question? An answer, right? So if you listen for a question and they say, maybe I should listen to the answer that comes after it. Maybe that's something important. So a question may make you think, mark an important point so you can remember this. And use that information to help you. That's a strategy that I tried to teach you at the last lecture. Now, when somebody tells you how many parts there are, then you might want to listen. Okay, if I tell you if I say there are 3 ways that you can delete a file from your computer, then you need to listen for the first way, the second way, and the third way, right? Don't stop after the first one. If I say there are 4 ways to enter the building, then you should listen for all of those 4 different ways. So if a lecturer tells you there are 7 different blah, 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 then you should listen for all of those and be prepared to take notes for all of them. Or now, you're going to listen to this lecture several times. Not with me. You're going to listen a lot at home. I'm just going to play this one for the first time with you to give you an idea. And remember, each time you want to listen for a specific purpose. Now we're going to listen to get a preview. What's a preview? Before. Just something you do briefly beforehand. You don't need to understand everything. But I gave you some questions on this page, on page 87 and page 88. And I think you'll be able to answer these questions even though you don't understand every single word. You don't have to understand every single word, but you can understand these questions. Okay, so I'm going to play it, and you just put a little circle around A, B, or C.
Lecture, Themes of Geography. Listen to parts 1 and 2 of the lecture for activities 10, 11, 12, and 13. Read the directions in your book for each of these activities. Then listen to the lecture. Part 1.
I want to welcome you all to Geography 1, Physical Geography. Some of you have told me you're especially interested in American history and geography. Isn't that so?
Uh-huh.
Good. Well, the best place to begin your study of American history is with geography. What is geography? It's the study of
the Earth.
the Earth. Yes, that's right. It's the study of Earth. Geo means Earth, and graph or graphy means picture or description or study.
Lecture.
Okay, so I stopped there for a moment, and now I'm going to ask you if you were able, to listen and understand the first 3 items. Yeah? Not hard, right? Okay, so the lecture welcomes students to what kind of geography class? Cultural, physical, or cultural and physical?
Physical.
Physical geography class. Good. Okay. And then the second one says the lecturer says that the best place to begin the study of American history is with its geography. Good. Okay, not with its core syllabus. And the third one says which one means Earth?
Geo.
Geo means Earth. Right. Okay, you got the first 3. Easy. Let's turn the page. Let's turn the page. Let's see if we can get the next 4 through 9.
11, 12, and 13. Read the directions.
Let's see if I can find the right place.
Geo means earth, and graph or graphy means picture or description or study. So, geography is a description or study of the earth. And
Land?
yes, land. But actually, you know, it's more than the study of the land.
Water?
Water? Yes, water too. Actually, what I mean to say is that geography is the study of land and people. Land and people. Geography includes the relationship between people and their environment. Earth, land, people, environment. As you know, the United States is part of what?
North America.
Yes, it's part of the North American continent. The U.S. has an enormous variety of physical features, natural resources, climates, and people. In this class, you'll learn about these factors and understand how they affected the development of the United States. Now, a very useful way to think about geography is in terms of major themes, major ideas or themes. In this class, we're going to examine the 5 major themes of geography. Location, place, region, movement, and human-environment interaction. If you can recognize and understand these important themes, you'll understand all the different aspects of geography. Now, don't worry if you don't understand these 5 themes yet, all right? I'm going to give you some examples.
Okay, do you think you can answer those questions? Yes? Okay, good. What do you have for number 4? Geography is the study of land, water, people, environment, all of the above. All of the above. Yes, you're right. Okay, number 5. The United States is part of America, the North American country, the North American continent. The North American continent. Okay, number 6. The United States has an enormous, meaning huge, very large, has an enormous variety of physical features, natural resources, climates, people, all of the above. All of the above. Okay. Number 7, if you can recognize and understand 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 important themes, 5 important themes, you will understand all the different aspects of geography. Number 8, this lecture is probably given on the first day of the course or on the day before a midterm exam. On the first day of the course, right? It's an introductory lecture. So it's an introductory lecture. It's not a review. It's not something just before the midterm exam. And the last one, how many times? Well, if you listened and you got all of them correct, then you only needed to listen to them once. But you might listen to it again and get even more information from it next time. Okay, so what I want you to study is activities 8 through 14. And do the practice quizzes. How many times should you do the practice quizzes? 20 times or more, because I have lots of items in them, and only a few come out at a time, you know. And I want you to do your best at getting more accurate and more fluent in learning the vocabulary and the syllables and stress.